This is the Infinite Vizionz Podcast, a show to inspire your curiosity about life through conversations with artists and their stories. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the intro episode of the Infinite Vizionz Podcast. I'm your host, Paige Hardy, and today I just wanted to get with you guys real quick and tell you a little bit about what this show is, what you can expect, and who I am. I figured it would be a little appropriate to tell you guys a little bit about who I was and what you should be expecting before we had on any guests. But before we get into things too deeply today, I just wanted to do the quick shameless self-promo and just ask you guys to simply give this page a like, a share, a subscribe, a follow, wherever that social media due diligence is due. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's going to help the show grow. It's going to help it get it off the ground and hopefully share to more people, because being a new podcast, being a new account, you guys know how social media is not the friendliest to those lower numbers. So please, anything would help. But let's go ahead and get into the show today. So, why I created this podcast. Infinite Vizionz is a weekly podcast to be able to inspire curiosity through the conversations that I have with artists and their perspectives on life. I know, I just said that earlier in the intro, but that's just because I wanted to make sure that you guys truly understand what I mean by this. So I find myself constantly curious about life, about philosophies, psychology, self-improvement, even, the controversial and trending topics of the day. These things consistently flowing around in my mind, I wanted to take the time to create a platform where I could talk to other artists about these topics and get a little bit about what their perspectives are. I've always enjoyed talking to people and just learning about who they are, what makes them tick, what inspires and motivates them, because this has given me a reflection on myself. So I created this show in hopes to not only inspire all of you guys, but also to learn a little bit and to grow as an individual along this journey. If you guys have followed me to this podcast from Neon Talk Podcast, thank you. I greatly appreciate you guys following me into another new chapter in my life. Now, if you don't know anything about what I just said, Neon Talk Podcast was a podcast that I hosted for over 2.5 years. That was sponsored by Neon Black Clothing. I had over 136 episodes, over 90 guests, and who knows amount of countless hours that was put into the editing and video processes and everything that goes into learning how to create a podcast. It was an amazing experience, and I am so grateful and thankful for everybody who allowed me to grow myself and learn about myself through that podcasting world. All those stories that I got to hear inspired me to create my own show and just go for it and do something strictly my own. So I created the Infinite Vizionz Podcast. I want to continue this growth and inspiration with everybody. I want to be able to continue to share other people's stories while also being able to inspire other people to not only follow their dreams, but have an understanding and a deeper understanding of who they are as individuals, getting themselves outside of their own box, hearing new perspectives, and just simply questioning and being curious about the world, trying to learn something new, and just building a community along up with that. So my goal here at the Infinite Vizionz Podcast is to just inspire your curiosity through these conversations with the artists that I'm going to have on this show. I hope that it makes a difference in your life. And before I finish off here, let's just give a huge shout out to Lunar Tide Studios for this awesome intro song that I get. So thank you everyone for joining this brief little interlude and intro episode of the Infinite Vizionz Podcast. If you've gotten this far and you are curious or inspired, please come listen to the next episode with an open mind eye. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for joining me in this new chapter of my book of life, and I will see you on the next page.